Hi, I'm Eric Westrich, and we're exploring the idea of co-working, and with us we have Felena Hanson. Thanks for coming. And Felena, you have a very unique perspective on where co-working is and where it's going, a pretty grand vision. So where did all that start? Were you just sitting around one day saying, I need some place to work, or how did you decide that you needed to start a co-working space?
Yeah, so I had a startup, a marketing firm. I came out of the startup world and got laid off 3 times by the age of 30 and figured that was a good opportunity to start my own business. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. So in that, I, as many entrepreneurs do, struggled with the isolation, the lack of community, the lack of support and creativity in my business. And over the course of 8 years, that got worse and worse, working out of my home. And I started to look at other space options for my business, and I found sort of 2 ends of the spectrum. There was, at the time, this is about 6 years ago here in San Diego, there was one co-working space called the Hive, really great space, but it wasn't my tribe, so to speak. It was pretty young, pretty techy, pretty male, dogs running around, kegs, ping pong, you know, the typical, which is cool, but just wasn't for me. And then the other end of the spectrum was the Regis executive suite world, and that wasn't for me either. So I had been leading a number of women's professional organizations here in San Diego, helping women launch businesses. And it really came together in that we needed a space. It's not about anti-men in any way. We do have several male members now. It's really about creating an environment that's beautiful and collaborative and clean. We called it a spa-inspired co-working space.
And I've been into your spaces many times, and I like them.
Exactly.
I feel comfortable in them.
Yes, no, exactly. Yeah. It's again, it's about the environment, but it's also about some of the programming we do, some of the community building that we do. It's really about creating that opportunity to give women that supportive space to launch and grow their business.
And so you saw the need, you built a place, people started coming.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenge when they said, Felena, here's a challenge, solve this problem for me? What was the biggest challenge in making this happen?
Yeah, to be honest, it had nothing to do with the members. We built 3 locations in the first 2 years of business here in San Diego, and the biggest challenge was commercial real estate. It was finding somebody who was willing to take a risk on a new business concept, because co-working was still relatively new then, and also a startup at that. And we'd just come out of '08, and you know, the real estate market had gotten beaten up. So it was very difficult to get my first lease, and even subsequently, even though I was profitable, hard to get my second and third lease. Now it's getting a little easier.
Okay, so people are more aware, less challenges.
Yes.
Opening your next 4th and 5th
Exactly.
places for that. What thing has a customer said to you that made you the most proud or the happiest?
It's almost daily. I hear from our members that the community, the environment has changed the way they work, the way they've grown their business, the way they challenge themselves in business, and in some cases changed their life, or the trajectory of their life, so to speak. So we're not just a co-working space. We have a business accelerator program called Hera Labs, and we have an angel investment arm called Hera Angels. So it's really helping somebody, whether they're in that ideation phase or that growth phase, take their business to the next level.
So do you see that's the trend of this future, this tighter integration with funding and mentorship, basically the funding and incubation and a place to work?
Potentially. It's working for us because, again, we're serving a bit of a different community than a lot of the other spaces. We do have some folks in tech, but primarily we're serving those businesses that are solo practice, female entrepreneurs, attorneys, CPAs, content development folks, people that maybe aren't going to fit into that tech incubator type space.
Okay, so let's say in 1 to 3 years we're at Hera Hub,
Yep.
and they usually have tea, which
Yes.
is a good
Yes.
thing. There
Yes.
is tea, it's
Yes.
not coffee. So, okay, so we're sitting there, I'm having tea.
Yes.
Maybe you're having that, or maybe it's happy hour, who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, Felena, what are you most proud of over the last 3 years? So 3 years in the future, what do you think your answer will be?
Absolutely. So right now we're focused on expansion outside of San Diego through a licensing model. Last year we successfully opened in Washington, D.C. That was a big opportunity for us to duplicate all the way across the U.S. And I'm working on 6 other cities right now, including Stockholm, Sweden. So hopefully we'll make San Diego proud and take the brand international in the not too distant future.
So in Stockholm, Sweden, is it still called Hera Hub?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
yes.
same name.
Yes,
Still
exactly.
translates. Well,
yes,
great.
the Greek goddess of women. It does translate pretty much into
Pretty
any
well.
language.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for
Absolutely.
being here
Thank
and
you,
for
Eric.
what you do, and thank you for watching.